In 1963, a man in Turkey knocked down a basement wall and discovered a tunnel leading to a city that could house 20,000 people beneath the earth. He was attempting to renovate his home in the province of Nevşehir, but instead of finding a simple crawl space or a structural void, he opened a portal into one of the most staggering engineering feats of the ancient world. This was the entrance to Derinkuyu, a subterranean metropolis carved entirely into the rock, descending deep into the darkness of history. Located in the Cappadocia region of central Turkey, Derinkuyu is not a natural cave system. It is a man-made hive of activity, sprawling across thousands of square feet. The region is famous for its unique geological landscape, formed millions of years ago by volcanic eruptions that covered the plateau in thick ash. This ash eventually solidified into a soft, porous rock known as tufa. While this stone is sturdy enough to support immense weight, it is soft enough to be carved with basic hand tools. This specific geological quirk allowed the inhabitants of Cappadocia to turn the earth itself into a sanctuary. The scale of Derinkuyu is difficult to comprehend from the surface. It consists of 18 distinct levels, though only 8 are currently accessible to the public. It reaches a depth of nearly 280 feet. This was not a temporary bunker or a crude hideout. It was a fully functional city. Thousands of people lived here for months at a time, shielded from the extreme temperatures of the Anatolian plateau and, more importantly, from the eyes of invading armies. As we investigate the layout of this underground world, the sophistication of its infrastructure becomes clear. This was a triumph of ancient planning. The city was equipped with hundreds of vertical ventilation shafts, some reaching depths of 180 feet, providing a constant flow of fresh air to even the lowest levels. Without this precise airflow, the thousands of oil lamps required for light would have quickly consumed the oxygen, making the city a tomb. The interior was divided into specialized zones. There were stables for livestock on the upper levels, strategically placed so that the smell and heat of the animals wouldn't overwhelm the living quarters below. Moving deeper, researchers have identified vast communal kitchens, oil and wine presses, and massive storage cellars capable of holding enough grain and supplies to sustain a population of 20,000 for an indefinite period. There were even dedicated spaces for education and worship, including a cruciform chapel on the 7th level. Security was the primary driver for such an arduous construction. The city was designed as a fortress. Each level could be sealed off individually using massive, circular rolling stone doors. These stones, some weighing up to 1,000 pounds and standing 5 feet tall, were clever pieces of defensive engineering. They were carved with a central hole, which allowed defenders to peer through or thrust spears at intruders, but more importantly, the doors were designed so they could only be opened and closed from the inside. Once the stones were rolled into place, the city became an impenetrable vault. The greatest mystery surrounding Derinkuyu is who exactly began this monumental task. The timeline of its construction remains a subject of intense academic debate. Some historians point to the Phrygians, an Indo-European people who occupied the region between the 8th and 7th centuries BCE. Others suggest the earliest layers might be even older, perhaps dating back to the Hittites in the 15th century BCE, who may have used the caves to hide during raids by the Sea Peoples. Regardless of who struck the first chisel, it is clear that the city was expanded and refined by various civilizations over thousands of years, each adding their own layers to this vertical maze. The evidence of daily life is still etched into the very walls of the tunnels. If you look at the ceilings in the communal areas, you can still see the thick black soot stains from centuries of burning oil lamps. These marks tell a story of a life lived entirely by artificial light, where the rhythms of day and night were dictated not by the sun, but by the necessity of survival. During the Byzantine era, between the 7th and 11th centuries, Derinkuyu reached its peak usage. This was a period of constant conflict, as the region became a primary battleground in the Arab-Byzantine wars. For the local Christian population, the underground city was a refuge that allowed them to vanish into the earth at the first sign of smoke on the horizon. Living underground for extended periods presented massive logistical challenges, particularly regarding waste management and water supply. The inhabitants of Derinkuyu solved these problems with incredible foresight. The city was built with a system of wells that did not connect to the surface, preventing enemies from poisoning the water supply from above. They also utilized a series of internal drainage channels to manage waste, ensuring that the living conditions remained sanitary despite the lack of sunlight and the high density of people and animals. The sheer labor required to remove the millions of tons of rock necessary to create these voids is almost beyond measure. Every basket of stone had to be carried up through the narrow winding staircases and disposed of on the surface in a way that wouldn't betray the city's location. It was a feat of collective will and organizational genius that rivals the construction of the pyramids, yet it remained hidden from the modern world for centuries. Uncovering the secrets of Derinkuyu reminds us how much of our history is literally buried beneath the surface. These architectural marvels represent the resilience and ingenuity of our ancestors, and preserving them is essential to understanding the true scope of human history. If you enjoy these deep dives into the forgotten chapters of our past, please consider hitting the subscribe button and liking this video. Your engagement helps the Null Atlas channel continue to investigate and share these remarkable true stories. Every view and like supports our mission to bring these hidden histories to light. Today, Derinkuyu stands as a silent witness to a time of great peril and incredible innovation. It is estimated that there are over 600 private homes in the region that have hidden connections to this underground network. Archaeological surveys suggest that there may be hundreds of similar cities scattered across Cappadocia, many of which have never been mapped or even rediscovered. We are only just beginning to scratch the surface of what lies beneath the Anatolian soil. The fact that a city of this magnitude could remain a secret for hundreds of years, hidden behind a simple basement wall, suggests that our world still holds many more surprises. If 20,000 people could live in silence just a few hundred feet below the ground, we must wonder what else we are walking over every day without realizing it. What do you think is the most plausible explanation for why such a massive city was eventually abandoned and forgotten? Could there be even larger complexes still waiting to be found? If a city of this magnitude could be hidden for centuries behind a simple basement wall, what else lies beneath our feet? Let us know your theory in the comments. Next time, we shift our gaze from the depths of the earth to the sea, as we examine a map from 1513 that depicts a world that shouldn't have been known for centuries.